Well, the civil society engagement platform, that's the CSEP, is threatening to embark on demonstrations at the embassies of the United States, United Kingdom, France, and even the United Nations if the National Judicial Council, NJC, fails to deliver what it calls credible justice over alleged age falsification of some judges. Well, this is coming on the heels of the investigation carried out by the NJC over the age falsification scandal involving 18 judges serving in the Imo State Judiciary. Now, the CSEP had before now filed a petition to this effect, asking the NJC to thoroughly investigate the judges and do the needful. Well, in 2016, the council sent 2 High Court judges on compulsory retirement in Niger State over age falsification. In both Imo and Yobe states, judges were sacked by the NJC over the same issue. Well, joining us on the news to discuss this major issue is Onyebuchi Emmanuel. He is the Executive Secretary of Civil Society Engagement Platform. Thanks for joining us, Emmanuel.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you're threatening to embark on demonstrations at the embassies of US, UK, France, and even the UN. One is wondering, why go to those embassies? That's one. And then secondly, that is if the NJC fails to deliver what you call credible justice.
Absolutely.
So why those embassies and the demonstrations? And then what to you will be credible justice?
Thank you very much. Let me quickly say that what is at stake is a heavy matter, because we're talking about a hallowed institution, the judiciary. It is the last hope of the common man. You know, when you call judges my lord, it brings a chill. It confers awe, and it confers divinity. Just as we call imams and bishops my lord. These are people next to God. They are revered. So they are expected not to conform with normal dictates of the society. They should be looked up to. So when we see certain things happen in the judiciary, it calls for concern. And that is why, having sent in this petition, we believe that the NJC will do credible justice, which is what a right-thinking human being will look at and say, this is the right thing they have done. Because if, for instance, an ordinary citizen is taken before the law and he's accused of age falsification, that he has 2 different dates of birth, what will the court do? The court will not pick or choose. The court will rule for having 2 dates of birth, you have falsified your age. So prima facie, the matter we presented to NJC has all the trappings of age falsification, because these judges have 2 different dates of birth. And we intend, if for any reason we are not making threats, it is the mindset of the civil society. That is how civil society movements operate globally. We run to the citizens and say, this is what is going wrong. Citizens must take back their country. It is not just about Nigeria. The world is a global village. That is why you see what's going on over the world. When there is an issue in the US, there's demonstrations all over the globe. People call other nations to be aware that this is going wrong in our country. That is why we intend that if for any reason we sense that there is any form of cover-up, then we will have to do the needful, which is to mobilize across board and organize what we call the mother of all protests to ensure that the right thing is done.
It's done. So that's why you're going to places like the embassies of, if you.
That's why we will.
If eventually. But let's get to the background. That the foundation, 18 judges falsified their ages, and in some instances you talked about the age of a brother of one of the judges having the same age. Talk to us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, before we present petitions, this is not the first time We have done this severally. And this is not just about Imo State. As we speak, we have 5 other states that their petition is getting to the NJC in coming days. It is a heavy matter across board. So in the instant case, we have a judge who has paraded the age of 1960, even in law school. The younger brother was born in 1960, and this judge is not a twin. So how can you justify that from your secondary school record, which we presented, is 1959, and then you went to law school and you adopted 1960? Both documents are there. Which one will any right-thinking citizen or human being pick as your age? And we have in authority evidence to show that the younger brother was born in 1960. So there's no way anybody can justify this. So we have every document presented. You know, NJC set up investigation committee.
Yeah.
It's a fact-finding committee.
Yeah.
So all you do there is present your documents. They will look at it. They will check. And if it is right, they will do the right thing. That is why we say if they don't do what they should do, we will know. And that is when we will move to the citizens and to the international community.
So what would you expect them to do now? I know you talked about right thinking, but in this instance, what is the engagement, the platform's expectation?
Yes, what has been done severally
For
by
example,
NJC.
when I read that, you saw they have had to sack
Exactly.
judges in Imo and
Absolutely.
Yobe.
All over the country, NJC has consistently frowned at such level of misconduct. So we expect that it should continue so that we'll sanitize this hallowed institution. Great jurists have described corrupt judges as a calamity to the society, where elegant justice is mocked and debased. So it calls for everybody's attention. People are complaining. The citizens have lost hope. Even our present Chief Justice of Nigeria, Kekereko, has made it clear that she has zero tolerance for corruption. So we are confident that they will come out to do exactly what has been done
Before.
Now,
Yemi Osinbajo, the former vice president, made this statement. He says Nigeria's judicial system is crumbling under the weight of corruption, ethical violation, and poor standings. Now, what do you make of this statement?
it's very correct. You know, this is exactly why we have a very serious problem in our country. Not just Osinbajo. I want to tell you what the Director General of United States Law Institute said about our judicial system. It has become a widely held global perception that Nigeria's judicial system suffers a crisis of confidence. Many have lost faith in the court's integrity, moral standing, and intellectual credibility. This is huge. It's huge because this is coming from an outsider. So Prof. Osinbajo is
An outsider could be wrong.
but we can now vet from what Professor Osinbajo has said. Not only Professor Osinbajo, what about our own jurists, our own Chief Justice of Nigeria? She has frowned at what some judges are doing. So it is something that is known. And once the confidence of the ordinary man in the judiciary is lost, anarchy sets in. So when you hurt me and you say, go to court, I say, I won't go to court because I know what I will receive there. So I'm going to deal with you my own way. So machetes, guns, and calamity everywhere. That is why everybody must pay attention. There are millions of right-standing citizens who want to aspire to the bench. We need such people of character to be there so that ordinary citizens can confidently approach this exalted institution. Growing up, when you hear that somebody is a lawyer, you respect the person. When you hear that a judge is coming, you take off. The judge may still be 10 kilometers away and somebody says there's a judge approaching here. You see people escaping. That is the kind of awe they were held in. But today, the ordinary citizens look at judges, everybody. It is a dishonorable thing to this great institution for any judge at all to be viewed as being corrupt.
The former vice president, in that particular lecture he delivered, he said that stories that lawyers act as conduit for the giving of bribes to judicial officers are rife, and also lamented that the perception out there in the country's system of justice is corrupt, with the bar and the bench culpable enough, causing damage. The question will be, what is the extent of damage that he's pointing his fingers at lawyers?
Exactly.
I know that some juries, even Kekereku has also done that. So it's not a question of both lawyers and the bench.
Exactly.
That's from the vice president. I'm referring to what he said.
A very well-knowledgeable person to speak to that matter. Let me tell you.
Himself being a jurist.
Exactly. It is shocking, and you might be shocked to know that some of these judges being accused of falsifying their dates of birth came to the investigation panel
with sons,
with senior advocates. And well, just before we went in to talk with the panel, one senior advocate was questioning why such a petition should be brought.
Yeah, but
I was shocked.
In the just legal system, you're innocent until proven guilty.
Nobody is saying anybody is guilty. That's why NJC is doing the work. But let me tell you, there is a word called prima facie. I just gave an instance. In primary school, if a child goes to school and the school is celebrating birthday and they give a report to the child, oh, congratulations, 6 years old. The child knows, oh no, I'm 7. The child will run home and say, Mom, they made a mistake. I'm not 6. And the mom will say, we'll go back and correct it.
Yeah.
How can an adult be parading a document for years that shows that you are born 1959, and then you keep it, and you keep using it, and you go to another instance and say 1960? Not just an adult, but a judge. I think what we are discussing here is awe-inspiring. If we understand the weight of this matter, we will weep for this country.
And are you saying that the 18 judges your platform is talking about are involved in this?
18. And all the documents are before the panel, and they all presented their defense. And we're waiting because we have our records intact. You know, civil society is like a watchdog.
Have they given any data as to when they will come out with
Well, they normally take their time and finish and then send back to the body, the NJC proper, that will do the final
thing. The committee that NJC set up.
Yes.
All right, I think we'll leave it there. We'll watch and see what gives. Like you said, you have confidence that the NJC will do the right thing,
Absolutely.
which they have done in the past.
Yes.
In 2016, and in Imo and Yobe. So they will, of course, do a thorough investigation and come out with the results.
Absolutely.
And then we'll hope that there will be no reason for demonstration.
We don't want that.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel, the Executive
much.
Secretary of Civil Society Engagement Platform, for being on Newsnight.